Assalamualaikum everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Geek Dhaba. Joining us today, we have Outlaw Cosplay, Mass Cosplay, and Alpha Cosplay over there. We have 3-4 cosplayers in this chat, and everybody here have definitely cosplayed Mortal Kombat characters, including myself in the past.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of did like a just a Kuai Liang impression. Like this is the Kuai Liang at home kind of look, I guess. But before the call, Abdullah was actually giving a better analogy of this particular Kuai Liang. I'll let Abdullah speak for that.
Dude, I wanted to keep it off the record, but if you want to say it, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I basically call you like as if Kuai Liang retired and started a family and is driving a minivan. Except his kids, from an igloo, not as cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sells ice cream. He's a good guy. Pays his taxes.
Yeah.
His accounts are the only thing that are not frozen. I am sorry for this. I am very sorry for this.
And with that, that will conclude this episode of Geek Dhaba.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Good night.
But on a serious note, today we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat, the new movie. And I think we all have a lot to say. I'm pretty sure that I'm a pretty big fan of Mortal Kombat, but I don't know all the lore, but even I have a lot to say about this. I feel like there are people over here who might also have a lot more to say. So I'm going to start off with let's start off with the positive notes of this movie, shall we? I'm going to start with one of the things that I thought were pretty good, and then we'll move on in a rotation. And one thing that I absolutely loved was Cabal. Cabal looked, sounded, and his CGI was amazing. The speed shown was amazing. The weapons looked amazing. Everything about Cabal in this movie was amazing, except the way that he got. Right? And that's a different complaint I have for some different characters, some later down the line. And it was just I just loved seeing Cabal in this movie because I think we haven't seen Cabal in the past in any movie. We've had reference to him in Annihilation, but we never actually saw him. So this was actually a really good representation of Cabal on live action. So that's one positive point I have for this movie. And I'm going to pass the mic to Abdullah.
Oh, it's my turn. All right. Okay. So, there are lots of positive things. I like the subtle fan service.
Oh yeah.
In the movie, you see Princess Kitana's fan. Makes you wonder: did she leave it at the temple there as a token of friendship? Because if Melina exists, that means she exists.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and the amulet of Shinnok.
Yeah.
If the monks are keeping it, then it's highly possible that Shinnok probably is imprisoned within the amulet.
Right.
And let's see. I like the way that they did not make Liu Kang the protagonist of the movie. He's just like another character there.
Those are all pretty good stuff. I like that Liu Kang entered in a bit late to the movie as well. They had to build up Sonya, Kano, and all these other characters before that. Hey, here's Liu Kang that you've known since game 1, that you chose in every fight stream since game 1 until he died in Mortal Kombat 6. And yeah.
I agree. And it's more on the side, just to add to Abdullah as well. We saw a lot of the paintings, and we saw the Great Kung Lao, we saw Kotal Khan, and we saw all the battle that had taken place before.
And the gods of Edenia.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to bring that up. We saw
the names.
I forgot their names too, but they were putting Dragon in the
Dagon and his brother.
They were
in Armageddon.
Yes, Mortal Kombat Armageddon. That was such
Delia,
a Easter egg.
The witch is Delia, Dagon's mother. The father is Argus.
Yes.
Argus and Delia.
Okay.
Argus and Delia.
Okay. And there was also a Nightwolf cameo there, which we, by the way, just wanted to know, because I know for a fact that Nightwolf is not just one person. It's been multiple different people who have inherited the mantle of Nightwolf. So is this like Nightwolf Prime, like the first one? Or is this just another one in the line?
It's
like the one that we know
it's definitely one of them, like one of the Nightwolves that we've had.
Because at some point there was a female Nightwolf as well.
Yeah.
They inherit the spirit of the Matoka.
Amar, what did you like about it?
Hold on a sec. I actually want to breathe for a minute because this mask was killing me.
He took down the mask.
And apart from that, it feels good to move my hands without the blades for a minute. So, give me a minute. Okay.
Let's transition to Kenshi there for a minute.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I say with the beard, it can definitely work. That's something to consider. Okay, let me give my thoughts. I love the beginning, the whole Hanzo's origin thing that they did in the beginning. I absolutely love that. It actually added this nice touch. There's something that I thought of as soon as I saw the movie, and also something I built up from the trailer that would have been nice for the movie with this aspect, but we'll talk about that a little later. Cole Young is a terrible character.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I was waiting to talk. I was waiting to got into the bad points of the movie to talk about that. But yeah, I absolutely hate Cole Young. Absolutely.
I like how we just slipped into that. How we are in agreement. Like Cole Young, nah, not the best.
Where do I begin? First of all, his powers generated from him being constantly beaten up. Literally.
Yeah, that's some sadistic kind of stuff.
His Ar-Khanna is him absorbing energy and throwing it back.
So kind of refers to a Black Panther?
Exactly.
Black Panther suit, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like that is vibranium suit from the Black Panther movie.
Like 70% of the movie is just getting his butt whooped. That's it.
Exactly. Oh, correct me, Abdullah, if this anything like this exists. Like, what is is Ar-Khanna a new concept, or is this like already existed in Mortal Kombat?
No, it's a new concept, because if you guys watched the Annihilation movie, if you noticed, and I spoke to Asad about this before. Remember, Asad? I told you about it.
I do.
If you remember the dragon marking thing, if you go back to Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Shao Kahn, including his goons, Melina and Cyrax, who else? Who had it? Jade and
Motaro?
Motaro, they had the dragon tattoo. Whenever they get Shiva as well. Whenever they get defeated, the dragon marking disappears. So I think if I'm not mistaken, they've probably taken it from that movie and improvised on it and made it work in this movie.
To be honest, like the concept of Ar-Khanna does work for me. I mean, personally, I kind of liked it. It sort of explains why and how they got their powers. I mean, previously you didn't get an explanation per se for example, for Liu Kang's powers or anybody else's powers. I mean, yes, there was, but it wasn't as convincing as it was. Like, okay, fine, Shaolin monks trained him in the way of the fire or the dragon or whatnot. But in this movie, it sort of like touches upon like, okay, this is how they obtain their powers, and I was okay with that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
maybe
that's fine.
Lore-wise, this is nice.
Yeah, okay, I totally agree with this. I actually like the Ar-Khanna system that they put over here, but there are a lot of questions that are left unanswered. First of all, why is it different for everyone when in the situation where it's passed down to someone?
That's a good question.
Like, say you kill the person with the Ar-Khanna, then you get the Ar-Khanna. So why shouldn't you be able to inherit the same powers that person had?
No, actually, just to clarify you, because Kung Lao explains this. Hang on, Abdullah, go first.
Yeah, let Abdullah go first.
Yeah, so my problem is that now when you kill someone, you get their dragon marking, their what do you call it, their Ar-Khanna, I don't know. Okay, you get the dragon marking if you kill someone, right? Now Hanzo had his marking and got killed by Bi-Han. So how did and before he died, it disappeared. So did Bi-Han get his dragon marking from Hanzo, or how did Cole get his dragon marking? He was born with it, but
yeah, no, but that's the thing, because we know for a fact that Bi-Han had his ice powers already when he arrived at Hanzo's compound. So probably he already had his Ar-Khanna. He's already awakened it.
If you if you know the lore very well, the what do you call them? Cryomancers?
Cryomancers, yes.
Yeah, cryomancers, yeah. Cryomancers, like behind Kuai Liang and Frost, they're natives to Outworld, actually, not Earth.
That's correct.
So,
and also, then you told me the story of Takeda actually rebelling from the Lin Kuei and going forward to start the Shirai Ryu.
Yes, not Takeda from Mortal Kombat 10. The origin of the Shirai Ryu, or some people they call it Shirai Ryu, whatever you want to call it. There was a Japanese warrior called Takeda who wanted to learn some martial arts. So he found the Lin Kuei and joined them. Now, the Lin Kuei, they don't take it well when someone tries to leave, because the only way you can leave the Lin Kuei is by dying. Okay, they will hunt you down until they get you. So Takeda, he learned the secrets and the techniques of the Lin Kuei and managed to escape. And he fled back to Japan. And Lin Kuei kept sending assassins, but he kept killing them one after another. So just to mock the Lin Kuei, he created the Shirai Ryu and donned the color yellow as an opposition, and in contrast with the Lin Kuei blue, to mock them. And that's the origin of the feud between the Lin Kuei and the Shirai Ryu. And I like that they actually it works even without Quan Chi's interference, because what Quan Chi did was just like rekindle the hatred between the two clans.
Yeah,
but it still works without Quan Chi. And
also, I mean, it's left very open-ended, because it could be that, okay, fine, the rivalry is there between Lin Kuei and Shirai Ryu, but we also need an explanation, like how come of all the people who die having that dragon marking, why was Hanzo Hasashi the only one who descended to the Netherrealm and became Scorpion? So from there, you can sort of bring in Quan Chi, like, okay, because Quan Chi wants violence. So he could have, like, following that movie that came out, Mortal Kombat, Revenge of Scorpion, I think that's the name of the movie, right? So in that, you can see, like, okay, Quan Chi was the one who brought in Hanzo Hasashi, because Hanzo was a feared warrior even before he became Scorpion. And then, of course, he trained in Hell and made Hell's powers his own, and that's when he became Scorpion. So we could go in the future movies, it could go into the explanation, like how Quan Chi sort of gave him what he wanted. Like, he wanted vengeance for himself, and Quan Chi gave it to him, and now he is in servitude of Quan Chi himself. So, I mean, this is an open-ended thing that they can expand on later. But yeah, coming back to Cole, because we sort of digressed from Cole. One thing I really didn't understand, and I was discussing this with Abdullah as well. What I didn't understand is, like, how come Cole is able to understand Scorpion when he doesn't speak a lick of Japanese? He is understanding Scorpion when
I think his suit comes with a built-in translator.
I think he doesn't understand. He's just nodding.
He's just like, he's like, he tells him for the show Ryu, and he goes like, yeah, they'll show whatever.
Yeah, I could totally imagine. I could totally imagine Cole like, yes, and when he says Omewa something, like, oh yes, he's that meme thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nani?
But no, like Cole, like there are so many things bad about the Cole character as a whole, right? For one, his family is just as messed up as he is, right? They see this guy shooting ice. They see this guy shooting ice out of nowhere. They've never seen this craziness before, but they act like this is just another Tuesday for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I seriously didn't understand, like, how his family was just okay with him. Like, there's a 4-armed monster raging in your backyard. You're supposed to run. Your dad is telling you to run, but you're just standing there and you're crying out his name.
Yeah, it's a good idea to beat him with an axe as well.
Hey, Luna.
While we're on the subject of 4-armed creatures, another reason I hate Cole Young, because they wanted to make Cole Young seem special and they wanted to make Cole Young seem like a strong guy, they made Goro go out like a pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
This is what I hate about the movie.
Like, my God, Goro is a force to be reckoned with. Goro
was the one who killed off so many competitors. I mean, before. I mean, Abdullah, correct me if I'm wrong. Goro was the main reason Earth kept losing all of the time.
Yes.
9 consecutive Mortal Kombat
9 consecutive times. Exactly. Goro was the prince here.
Yes, one.
Prince of the Shao Kahn, son of King Gorbak. And he is, and by the way, guys, if you know this, there are 2 races within the Shao Kahn, the Dragons and the Tigers.
Yeah,
now the Dragons, half dragons and they half tigers. Now the half tigers are much weaker than the half dragons. So, but Kintaro is one of the tigers who stood out and proved himself worthy to be an equal of the dragons.
Kintaro. Yeah, Mar, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to bring up something about Mortal Kombat. A Mortal Kombat did not even happen in this movie. It was an invasion.
It was
Which was okay.
Yeah, well, it was okay.
Which was all right.
Everybody knows that Shang Tsung never plays fair.
Yeah, that is true. I totally agree on that. But I mean, come on. You're setting up all these amazing characters, some of the best characters in Mortal Kombat lore, and they're all just there for the invasion aspect.
Let's talk about Shang Tsung's wig. What's up with that?
Okay, so yes, the wig was a bit weird, and at least the costume was pretty decent. It's better than the 1995 movie, which felt like the costume department took a vacation that week.
Yeah.
I mean, no hate to Kerry Tagawa. No hate to Kerry Tagawa.
He was perfect.
That guy is. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised why didn't they bring him back for Shang Tsung specifically. They could have easily. I mean, he's Asian. He fits the bill, and he's been Shang Tsung every time.
He's played Shang Tsung before.
Although, may I point out a fact that I don't know why this is popping into my head, but Shang Tsung in that outfit looks like the initial Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean,
I agree.
Oh no!
I don't like the cape.
I have a worse comparison for you. The one that will keep all 3 of you up at night. It looks like Fire Lord Ozai from the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
What if directed by Shyamalan?
Yes. it's like I kid you not. It literally feels like they're like WB sat there like, okay, we need a costume for Shang Tsung. Went into like this bad movie costume department. Take this.
Yeah, but in terms of the most badass costume, I would say Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Scorpion.
They both had Scorpion, especially. Yeah. I was surprised because I went back to just search a bit, and it's 17th or actually, sorry, Abdullah, you corrected me. 18th century samurai costumes.
I think it's the 14th. No, I think it's the 14 or between 14 and 17.
Yeah, because the side pads, the side spiked shoulder pads they came into after the Japanese had faced the Mongols.
I think that
Mongols actually used to.
I think that was like pre-Edo period.
Pre-Edo period, exactly. Pre-Edo period, exactly. And I seriously liked how none of his combat was forced. It just flew like just as if this guy is this really huge force of nature. And and you know how his arrival happens. Like, of course, you know, he burns the blade of Hanzo and he's about to stab Cole. And then all of a sudden it just comes here and then get over here. Dude,
remember everyone cheered?
Everybody was cheering.
Speaking of the get over here, they improved on that in the movie.
Yeah,
compared to how it was in the trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was so much better.
I heard a lot of people complain that they haven't used Scorpion so much in the movie, but it's understandable because now Scorpion is the mascot of NetherRealm Studios and the face of Mortal Kombat, with all due respect to Sub-Zero. But I mean, like Scorpion's the coolest character. But if I have, it's like, you know, it's like the WWE using Brock Lesnar. I'm not gonna use him every time. I'm just gonna use him like in the the major events.
The most productive kind of way. And I seriously like how they explain his spear, his rope spear. like how he improvised his rope spear because he lost his sword during the battle with the Lin Kuei. So he goes in the garden and uses the kunai, and which is accurate because the kunai is always used as a guarding tool. It was never a weapon, never actually a weapon per se. So like he just improvises it on the go, and then it just becomes part of his character. So I seriously liked how they went with it. Instead of like something coming out of his hand, no hate to Chris Casamassa, but instead of something coming out of his hand, it was, yeah, exactly that. Although no hate to Chris Casamassa, I seriously was wishing that he had a cameo in the Mortal Kombat movie, but yeah.
So like obviously back in the night, like we had this discussion, we were having a discussion about the movie before this podcast as well, with a couple of friends. And over there, I said the same thing that I'm going to say now. When the 1995 version of Mortal Kombat came out, the only lore we had was 2 lines per character from the game, right?
Yeah.
That was it. And everything else had to be kind of improvised based off of that, right? So yeah, we had the scorpion thing coming out of the hand because that's what it looked like in the game, right? And
True.
There are a lot of other things, but like, here's what I want to say. There's somebody somewhere who's saying the 1995 version of Mortal Kombat is better than this, right? Because
no.
The thing is, you can't compare the two. You can't compare the two because
no,
you
can.
No. The thing, my reasoning is that back in 1995, it was a total new concept, and this was the first time you see a CGI being used this way. Of course, it would be fascinating.
You can compare it in terms of lore because in the 1995 movie, they used Scorpion and Sub-Zero as henchmen, so Shang Tsung's henchmen. If you noticed.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And that's basically it.
But the whole point is like the trailers actually specify that it's trailers, posters, all marketing materials sort of revolve around the fact that it's dealing with Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. So Cole, I believed him to be like sort of a connection between the two. Remember, Abdullah, we discussed our Kuai Liang theory. Like, what if Cole Young was actually Kuai Liang? So it would make sense if Bihan could have been set up by Sector to defeat this Cole Young or Kuai Liang, just so that he can have a clear path to the throne. Scorpion is hunting Kuai Liang because, of course, his connection with the Lin Kuei. So this guy is being hunted by 2 parties who are both interested in him, and then these 2 parties collide together to face off against him. I mean, I don't know. That would have made for a better story instead of like Cole Young being descended from Hanzo Hasashi. Which begs the question, by the way. Which begs the question. We have specified like how, the dragon marking transfers from the killer, from the victim to the killer. So are you telling me in 400 years of Hanzo Hasashi's descendants, there was no murder? I mean, that's kind of like a good streak. And that the only explanation is that Raiden kept this lineage intact. So what happened in Cole's time? Why is Raiden just so laid back? He's like, nah, I'm just done.
Oh, speaking of Raiden being so done, he was useless in this movie.
Sorry?
He was utterly useless in this movie, Raiden.
Well, yeah, he was kind of useless in this movie because in Earthrealm, okay, well, not entirely. He was like kind of useless because at least he did something. He did bring up the barrier. He did take the baby from the beginning of the movie. He did some things, but I understand that in Outworld, his powers are useless.
He probably got inspiration from the Defenders of the Realm cartoon.
No, it's always been there because each realm has a defender god. Okay, defending the Raiden was only there. Raiden was only assigned to Earthrealm because Fujin decided to live leave the sky and live against the mortals.
Leave the Sky Temple, yeah.
So the other guys
assigned to Chaos Realm? Wasn't Fujin assigned to Chaos Realm?
No. They haven't revealed all of them. And one of the gods who were assigned as well, if you didn't know, it was Shao Kahn, who was assigned to Outworld. Okay, but in Annihilation, they said he was Raiden's brother, which is complete bullshit. Okay.
Yeah. We just agreed that Annihilation never existed.
Never existed. Let's do that. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it did give us. I mean, okay, yeah, sure. But there's a lot of other things like Raiden. Yes, Raiden was useless. It was okay. Let's say he was at least 90% useless. He did do some stuff, right? But the reason why that kind of annoys me is because if we look at it from the source material way, like even in the reboot timeline, Raiden wasn't 100% useless. Raiden did assist the Earthrealmers throughout. He did help them out, guide them, do something. Raiden, and he did eventually fight as well in Mortal Kombat, and he eventually did turn.
Deadly Alliance, yes.
Yeah.
He lost his lost his status as a god just to fight in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. He at least assisted and at least coached the Earthrealmers throughout. Even in the reboot timeline, if you look at 9, 10, and 11, at least in 9, he did that. He kind of guided them. He kind of coached them, talked to them through all of it, right? And in the original timeline as well, he did that until the Deadly Alliance. And the problem here being that, yes, he kind of just existed. Like, yes, I'm Raiden, I'm here for trailer fodder. And I will be shown in the trailer, and then I will never be seen for 90% of this movie. And then when I come, all I will do is lightning people into different locations so they can fight.
Although, what did you guys think of the acting part of it? Like, how did Tadanobu Asano work his way as Raiden? Because he did really sell the for the better use of the word, like the very stubborn and asshole-ish side of Raiden, basically. Like, he sold that, I would say. Like, how Raiden has this really cold side to him, which is why people love Fujin more. I think he sold that one, but I don't know. Do you think his portrayal comes any close to the games?
It was close enough, but I liked it. He had that Raiden-ish aura,
Yeah.
It's like and
I like how they cast an Asian guy for that, because not a white guy, but an Asian guy, because Raiden is, well, by the lore, he's a Japanese god of thunder. Raiden.
Yeah, that was Raiju actually.
Raijin, yeah. I know.
Raijin and Raiju, his dog.
So
Raijin and Fujin.
So here's the thing though, like Amar said, where Amar actually made a really good point. So it feels like the Defenders of the Realm cartoon from the 90s. So in that, he was a bit cold and distant and all of that as well. So he kind of emulated that in what I feel like more than, let's say, Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat 10 or any of the previous ones, in my opinion. I could be wrong. But on that note, I want to say that apart from Cole Young's family, the acting in this movie was pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. And especially Kung Lao. Kung Lao had us all. Kung Lao and Kano. Kung Lao and Kano, both of these guys had us sold completely.
Okay, Kano, okay, so like my 3 favorite performances in this movie, and you've named 2 of them. Kung Lao, Kano, and Cabal. Like my favorite performances from the entire movie, right? And I just love seeing Kung Lao, because Kung Lao just has always been like very cool.
Underrated, kind of.
Very underrated.
Yeah, and he's really underrated, even though he has a lineage of really awesome feats. And like, of course, when you talk about Kung Lao, you can't just ignore the great Kung Lao, who basically defeated Shang Tsung in one of the first tournaments. And it's even shown in the picture where they show the great Kung Lao. It's shown in the picture that it's actually a young Shang Tsung who's on the ground in front of him. If you go back to see that picture, it's a young Shang Tsung.
Yeah, so I was trying to tell Amar when we watched. We went back and checked all those little acrylics that were on the wall.
Yeah.
And I was telling Amar it was the great Kung Lao. He seemed to believe it was a trick art.
No. That would be Kung Lao.
That first image. There wasn't even a body actually there. Was a body? Did it look like Shang Tsung?
Yeah,
no.
It was young, it was a young Shang Tsung.
Hair
But
tie,
Kano,
blood
like
bleeding out of the mouth.
yeah, but Kano, man, like Kano, I was telling this to Abdullah as well. Like I am very, very sure that this guy improvised 90% of his lines. And he even said that in the interview that, most of his lines, especially the one at the dinner table, was all improvised. And the cast was trying very hard to not laugh because
Not to laugh, yeah.
it was that infectious.
Like I really love like a lot of dialogues I really love, especially whenever Kano was online. Like, what are you gonna do? Make a door appear out of nowhere? Door appears out of nowhere. That's impressive. I'll give you that. I was busting a gut, man. That was so good.
I seriously, although I hated that his character had to go out all of a sudden, like he's dead now. I seriously hated that because I mean you could have used Kano for a very long time. I mean have Cabal rescue Kano and then just go, but instead, of course, you wanted to show off the dragon fatality, and of course to kill Kano.
I think that they're gonna.
Okay, I'm gonna point out one small thing before we continue. I don't think anyone's gonna get this reference except for Omer because I pointed this out. The dragon fatality in this movie kind of looks like Ultimaya Zoken from Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm gonna put up the images right here just to show everybody the comparison over here. So
Ultimaya Zoyo.
Ultimaya Zoken. I'll show you after the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think since they killed Cabal and Kano, I think they're making space to introduce Kira and Cobra.
That's actually a good notion. Yeah, but then again, it would demand a lot of character building because these two characters aren't just mercenaries; they do have backstories to them.
Yeah, they all do actually. And I think Suhao was as well a black dragon.
But I'm very sure they're not going to use Suhao. I mean, the entire NetherRealm Studios, Ed Boon himself hates that character. I mean, it's that bad.
Oh, remember what I told you about Noob Saibot?
Noob Saibot, yeah. I don't know if you guys know this particular tidbit.
We do.
We did.
Boon and Tobias.
Of course we did.
Put them together, flip it, Noob Saibot.
And even Ermac, about Ermac as well. Like the name of Ermac was what?
Macros.
Yeah. But I'm very sure, like in the next Mortal Kombat movie, because they did say that there are 4 more movies in the works. So I'm pretty sure in the next ones we're gonna see Noob Saibot for sure, because pretty much everything in that last battle was giving us the indication that Noob Saibot's coming.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you that was Reptile.
Yeah, that was Reptile. I mean,
that was Reptile.
Yeah, thank you. I've been saying that to Omer since I watched this movie. That's Reptile.
No, I agree.
That's Reptile. I mean, everything is there.
I thought it was Chameleon at first, but it was Reptile, and I remembered it was Reptile, but then it was just a bad Reptile.
I mean,
what his name was? Like Sealog or something?
Yeah, but this is the Reptile that is without clothes, like the one that didn't have consciousness. I mean,
it looks more like the more reptilian-like version of the Mortal Kombat 9 Reptile.
Yeah, exactly. Like the more lizard man kind of thing.
Yeah, or you can say something like the bad CG version of the 1995 one before he became the full green costumed one.
But that is the Reptile.
The Reptile, exactly. And Nitara, of course, being absolutely gorgeous and absolutely useless, was just there for Kung Lao to deliver the best fatality.
Was always useless. Nitara was always useless.
But dude, that fatality, and then that flawless victory. Like, damn,
it's an iconic fatality.
Damn. Yeah. That was amazing. That was seriously amazing. But I kind of like hate that they killed Kung Lao, but again, that's the lore. Kung Lao dies first every time. Even in MK9 was that.
Let's talk Reiko. What's up with Reiko?
I don't know. I'm so disappointed.
Why did they do him like that?
I mean,
Reiko should be conspiring to kill Shao Kahn and take his place.
But here he's just an orc barbarian with like level 4 rage or something. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
And -2 intelligence.
-2 intelligence, exactly.
He looks like he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. That's it.
I think the only way there's a phrase I have for this, and like the only way the phrasing comes across properly is in Urdu, right? So it's like उनके पास like outworld में किसी कोई कमी थी लोगों की they had to pick Reiko.
Yeah, I'll translate it for Abdullah. Did they run out of people in Outworld that they had to use this guy for as like this guy?
I'm just worried.
Riku was more substantial than this. He wasn't just a mercenary.
I mean, after what they did to Reiko and Goro, I'm just worried what they're gonna do to Motaro.
Oh no!
Forget about Motaro. No. What if they introduce Shao Kahn in the sequel?
No. Shao Kahn shouldn't be introduced in the sequel.
They're gonna make Motaro the 2 feet version of Motaro from Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Oh please no! Oh
no! No! 2 feet
Motaro. Okay. No. There's a story actually why Motaro like they changed him to like a Minotaur instead of a Centaur.
It was a curse, right? They ended up getting.
It was a curse. The Shokan, the Shokan placed the curse on the Centaurs, and the curse changed them all into Minotaurs.
Yeah, it did.
Let's say I think introducing Motaro would work in the sequel because of the whole. Because in the endings, naturally we're talking about spoilers. And then they referred looking for Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Motaro kills Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you wouldn't want an icon like Johnny Cage to come and just die. I have a feeling that they, yeah, I was just about to say that. But yeah, no hate to Lyndon Ashby. He was the best Johnny Cage that we have seen till date. But yeah, the whole point is like, at least keep Johnny Cage till the end of the tournament where he actually defeats Shinnok and, he becomes that, Earthrealm champion instead of Liu Kang, actually, just like how the NetherRealm story has worked out.
I don't know if they're gonna go with the. I don't think if they're gonna give him the Ar-Khanna thing. I don't know if they're gonna give him the Ar-Khanna. I don't know if he's just gonna have his powers already. Because if you guys know as well about the Johnny Cage, he's a descendant of a race who lived in the Himalayas, I think.
Mediterranean.
Yeah. Sorry about that. And these people, they just basically bred champions for the gods.
Yeah.
So they get their powers by default.
It is very likely that they're gonna harness the power and manage to somehow, through some form, give him the Ar-Khanna symbol. Like, oh yeah, you are ready to be the champion. Here's your branding.
This is my Ar-Khanna.
This is the best Ar-Khanna ever. Hi, Luna.
She's gonna bite you,
baby.
I'm gonna hug Daisy after this.
But I want to bring up one last thing. How easy is it to motivate these people to fight back? Because when they're in the void, Cole was like, there's still time. They're all like, okay.
Let's listen to the new guy. Listen to the new guy. I mean, Liu Kang has been training in this temple for a very long time. He should be the leader in this case. But no, let's just listen to the new guy.
It's just that, someone had to die so they can decide to fight back,
Look, I am all for that. I'm just saying that they're all down and dusted after Kung Lao died and they're all in the void now. They're all upset. Cole just says there's still time, and then suddenly they're like, "You're right, let's go." At least in Avengers, they had like 10 minutes of Nick Fury explaining everything. And
I agree. And what's more is that all of a sudden Raiden is also like, yeah, bro, I'll follow you. Elder God who?
Yes, who my status as an Elder God.
Time to start making lightning shows. Teleport everybody everywhere. Yeah. Time to fight.
I was like, you know what, Cole, you make all the decisions. Screw my thunder powers. It's like I'm not even there.
Okay, so I have
another thing. If you can teleport anyone anywhere, why can't you just teleport them away every time they show up?
What happened?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I mean, why don't you teleport everyone? You do all the work, okay? You do the planning. You take here.
Shang Tsung shows up. Raiden just teleports him to Italy or something. He comes back 2 days later. You gotta stop doing that, man.
Where was Raiden throughout that entire fight? Where was he? Where was he held up?
may I refer you back to Defenders of the Realm, where Lord Raiden is the leader of the team, but he does whatever he wants, and he does not give a damn about the rest of the team.
But don't forget, guys, don't forget, because in this movie he has his elder god status, not like a regular protector of the realm status, elder god status, and he's not supposed to interfere in any way.
But he did.
But he interfered by teleporting everyone to those places.
But he did, though. That's the problem.
It's just, yes, no, it's just a teleportation, but he cannot like influence the results, the outcomes.
He could.
That's fair.
He could teleport.
Okay. But here's my rebuttal. Here's my rebuttal. Cole picked who should fight who and get a better opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, like
Raiden just accepted it.
Raiden could teleport me to fight Asa, but you know, I might think I might have the advantage, but like he could still kill me.
Yeah, only in
the
like
only person I see that did
very,
not have that much of a chance
rare.
was the only person I did not see that having that much of a chance was Jax versus Reiko.
Jax had the easiest fight.
Jax.
Jax
was
hold on.
like
Why
there.
is Jax Ar-Khanna metallic arms?
Thank you for bringing that up. What was that?
It's not only that. Reiko cannot fight without a hammer.
Reiko was one of the fiercest fighters ever in Mortal Kombat history.
Isn't the hammer Shao Kahn's thing?
My point exactly.
Now it's
my point exactly.
Doesn't Kotal Khan have a hammer too?
Kotal Khan has a sword. Kotal Khan has a broadsword.
Did you just call him? Wait, hold on. Did you just call him Kotal Khan?
No, I called him Kotal Khan.
I just heard Kotal Khan.
No, we're not going there. We're keeping it family friendly.
You're gonna tell me now he's related to Salman Khan.
He could be, for all we know.
Here come the Kotal Khan Salman Khan memes.
Oh my God!
Leave them in the chat.
Yes, that's gonna happen right now.
Yeah, but let's go back to Reiko. Okay, so Reiko is one of not even one. He is the highest top general of Shao Kahn's army. Okay, and not only that, he was Melina's secret lover. And on top of that, he tried multiple times to usurp Shao Kahn. And if you guys are familiar with this theory that says that Reiko could be Shao Kahn from the past.
Oh, that actually is interesting.
That was hinted in his ending in Mortal Kombat 4.
Yeah, where he sits at the throne and he becomes Shao Kahn because he gets the Shao Kahn mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we all. I don't know how canon is MK4 anyways, because the MK4 has had the most character.
It is very
no, actually, Armageddon had the most amount of characters.
74.
Armageddon had so many characters.
Armageddon was basically Ed Boon having crack someday, and that crack hit the spot, and he's like, you know what, let's go for it. And he made like one of the best Mortal Kombat games ever.
No, the crack that Ed Boon had was when he made Justice League versus Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. DC versus Mortal Kombat, was it?
Yeah, DC. Yep. Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
Oh yeah, and I feel like something like that is coming because, you know, with Sub-Zero and Raiden showing up in Injustice 2 and then Joker showing up in MK11, I feel like something like this is coming again.
I would take it now because we've had Injustice and we've had Mortal Kombat, so the natural progression would be to have them cross over. But back then it was so uncalled for, and the story was just not good.
Yeah, I mean Sub-Zero versus Batman, and Batman wins. Bro,
not. I mean, to be fair, in Batman's defense, he had training against Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the point.
Exactly. If you guys want to watch our video why Batman is overrated, do click our channel. By the way, we made a whole discussion on
right over here. We'll put a
some
description.
Excuse me. What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean Batman is overrated? He's Batman.
Just watch the episode.
Just watch the episode. You'll get it. Yeah, but final thoughts. Final thoughts, by the way. What's your rating, by the way? What do you think is your rating?
Yeah, I'll give it like 7, 8. I'll be generous with them, so I'll be. Although I wouldn't give it like normally 8. I'm giving it an 8 just because I'm a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. So we finally got a good movie.
And Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yes. The moment
By the way, fun fact, and Abdullah will tell you this fun fact actually about Hiroyuki Sanada.
The moment they announced the movie that there's gonna be a new Mortal Kombat movie, and I called us out and said, you know what, Hiroyuki Sanada is gonna be a great Scorpion.
And lo and behold, 2 months later, he's cast as Hiroyuki Sanada. He's cast as Scorpion, basically.
Amazing.
I mean,
Nice.
he was born for this role. He was born for this role. Joe Taslim was a really, really good Sub-Zero. I kind of wish he was Kuai Liang, but I kind of see his performance and I'm like, okay.
No. Dude, he was perfect for Bihan because Bihan was straight up ruthless, merciless.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason...
Asil, what was your score?
I gave it a score of 7. The thing is,
Never
Mortal Kombat knows... Nah, no, exactly. The thing is, I loved it. It's just that if you don't take the story too seriously, you will love the fan service that you're getting. And the fight choreography was insane. Again, Mortal Kombat has never taken its story very, very seriously. I mean, if you look at all the Mortal Kombats that have happened, yes, there is a lore, but they're like, okay, we know our niche lies more as a fighting game rather than a story game. So in that way, I was okay with it. 7 out of 10 because, of course, number one, Cole was a very lackluster character. We sort of did not relate with him as much as we wanted to. And one of our friends, Raz Reviews, name drop, she also highlighted like how the actor for Cole Young had a hard time acting, basically. I mean, I'm no actor, but yeah, she did make sense, like, you know, how it wasn't convincing us. It wasn't like connecting with us.
Especially that part when he told his daughter and wife when he was fighting Goro and he told him to go inside the house.
Yeah.
Again, he was just like, you know, go back inside. You know, like, yeah, don't worry. It's just a forearm, half dragon, half something else attacking.
Yeah, he's just gonna throw
it. His ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So,
yeah,
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
7 out of 10.
Might be a 4 hours, but it's just another day for me. So.
Amar, what's your score?
I'm gonna give it a 7. It's a solid 7 for me. Mostly because, again, like I mentioned, you guys already discussed this as a theory. I mentioned this as well when the trailer came out in our chat. That it would have been better if what happened is that the child that they had in the beginning, the sister, was actually a brother who they found and just took care of because it was left up somewhere and they didn't know what was going on. Bihan was looking for that child and in the process killed Hanzo's wife and kid and failed to find the son and killed Hanzo. Raiden finds the son and gives it a new life in Earthrealm. And this is not 200 years later. This is like a short period of time, 20, 25 years later. Then later on towards the movie, we find out that Cole Young is actually Kuai Liang.
Yeah, there's a lot of people supporting that. Like if Cole Young was Kuai Liang instead of being descended from Hanzo.
But it doesn't have as highest powers though.
If they went that route, this movie would have been an easy 8.5, 9 for me because that would have been a much better, a little different from the lore, but actually incorporates it too.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, I just wish we could see more action coming from Shang Tsung instead of just like standing there like a statue and doing his orgasm face. You know.
Seriously, when that ending happened, I was waiting for Shang Tsung to start getting ready to fight, but then Liu Kang joins in and we see that final, a reminiscent of the final fight from the 1995 movie.
Oh yeah, and apparently Shang Tsung knows how to use the Force.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Like all of a sudden, okay,
your soul is mine.
Yeah.
Although
when he said your soul is mine, it didn't hit the same way as Kerry. It won't hit the same way.
No, actually, yeah. See, because the way that guy says it, if he goes like, "Your soul is mine," I had actually to pause the movie and just like, I gotta go to the bathroom for a quick moment and come back because he has that effect on you,
Yeah, it's like he's just pointing at your soul.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. So, Mayor, your score.
What's your score?
Okay, so if I want to be harsh, my score is 6.5. But because I don't want to
6.5. I said, isn't that your shoe size?
11, baby. Just say it.
Don't make me count.
I'm gonna get a mouthful.
Don't make me come and exterminate the shit out of you clan again.
Dude, don't be rude. Let him finish, man.
Right. So, since I don't want to be harsh, I'm gonna say it was a 7. Right now, it could have been better. Like, obviously, the limitations of having so much lore to cram in a 2-hour movie, it becomes a bit of an issue. But if we had an extra 20 minutes maybe in the movie where we explored a bit
we
more
kind of
story,
need a Snyder cut for this,
This should have been 4 hours long.
What do you need now? What do you need now? Shao Kahn cut?
Release the Sonata cut.
No.
Release
It's the Shao cut.
Exactly.
It's the Shao cut.
The
The Shao cut. But you know what I think, guys? I think this is like some really good TV shows. When they start, the first episodes, it's kind of a bit of a slow letdown because this is not the tournament hasn't even started yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think this is just like an introductory part, for the whole franchise because I think we're gonna get like 3 or 4 more movies
easily
after this one. So
that's correct.
we're gonna have to expect a lot of things. Kintaro, Shiva, Motaro, Noob Saibot,
Striker,
Kenshi,
Johnny Cage.
I'm gonna get really pissed off if they added mocap.
I want mocap.
No, they won't.
Give us the mocap movie.
No.
Give us mocap.
No, we don't want. If we're gonna get mocap, we might as well get Oni and Meat.
Yeah, I was about to say I need mocap.
No, hey, don't. We don't. No.
I need mocap versus meat.
They should add Sector Cyrax and Smoke.
Sector Cyrax and Smoke, yeah, exactly, because they're Lin Kuei. Kuai Liang as well. I think it's gonna be better if Kuai Liang shows up without the mask.
Yeah.
And then gets his scar.
Okay, and with our combined scores, the average is coming out to 7.25 out of 10.
No, which is a fair score. I mean,
Holy shit, you did calculate that?
Yeah, that's what I do in the reviews. We calculate the average of everybody reviewing.
Oh, you just create one number. That's it. People are calculating shit over here. Right?
7.25 out of 10, not bad. So, does anybody have anything else to say about this movie before we wrap up?
Nah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
You better die in the sequel.
Yeah, I agree.
Go G.I. Joe Retaliation on us. I don't care.
The movie could do. It can't continue without him. I can see the movie continuing without him.
I can see him gathering the champions and then dying somehow, and I am okay with that.
I'm okay with that. Yeah,
I mean, milk his death for motivation purposes. I'm okay with that, but just
divert our focus to
Johnny. His character.
Divert the focus to Johnny Cage, and we don't care about Cole Young anymore.
Start focusing on Johnny Cage and go the Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11 route.
So I think if they're gonna introduce so many characters in the next movies, in the upcoming movies, if the tournament is going to start, they're gonna have to introduce more characters, and if they're gonna introduce a lot of characters, then they won't have to use Raiden as Raiden's powers. So I think then the tournament will take place in Outworld.
Yeah.
Just to restrain Raiden from doing anything. So because if he can fight, he can interfere. It's gonna be an easy win for Earth's champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna jump straight to the Mortal Kombat 2 storyline because they already killed Kung Lao.
Yeah, Kung Lao's dead. And which sort of lets Liu Kang take the center stage now that that Kung Lao is gone.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's gonna piss me off? What's really gonna piss me off? If Cole defeated Shao Kahn.
No,
I would be so pissed.
No.
No,
Please,
no.
Please, no.
Cannot be allowed to happen.
No, guys,
Yeah.
I repeat, go the G.I. Joe retaliation route where Duke dies.
You know what we need? We need Derek Kolstad on board. You know, with the movie crew. He needs to write the rest of the movies.
Is that the guy who wrote John Wick?
John Wick, yeah. And
John Wick, yeah.
He wrote, I think, 3 or 4 episodes in the best, some of the best episodes in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. If you notice, if you guys watch the show, you get some episodes, you get the feeling that, you know, it resembles John Wick. That's because Derek Kolstad, the same guy who wrote John Wick, wrote some of the episodes in the Falcon and Winter Soldier as well. He also wrote the movie Nobody.
Oh, interesting.
That's
I think,
well.
I remember you were telling me that as well. I'm gonna watch that as well. Yeah.
So yeah, we need Derek Kolstad for Mortal Kombat.
for this, definitely.
Yeah.
Well then, I guess that's it for this episode. Does anyone have anything else to add before we sign out?
Yes, before we sign off, I just want to say we'll see you guys again in 2 months when they release the Cole Young DLC for Mortal Kombat
11. What? No, they're gonna do
Do not get me started.
No, we don't even joke about
chance.
that. We don't even joke about that.
There is a chance.
We all know what's happening. We all know what's happening.
They're gonna try to push Cole Young into our throats.
No.
They're gonna try to make us like Cole Young.
You know what? I'm going to do what... okay, I know I took these off, but I'm going to do the one thing that I love doing with Baraka in the Mortal Kombat games.
Baraka would be the best guy to have your meat cut up and everything. Okay, that was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And on that meat cutting joke, that is when we will close the dhaba. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the podcast.
Special thanks to our guests for showing up.
Special thanks to Abdullah. Thank you for taking out the time.
Oh, that's me. Oh, no problem. Sounds like
we were just thanking you now.
Okay.
Everybody's be good to each other, and we'll see you all next week.
Don't be good.
Take care, guys. See ya.
Kill each other.
Bye.